What catches sellers off guard more than a price reduction? It's not the adjustment itself, it's how a home is priced on day one. That first number quietly determines whether buyers come towards you or move past you without ever slowing down. Hey there, it's Andy Schildhorn, Macdonald Realty. I've spent more than 30 years helping buyers and sellers navigate real estate in Langley and across the Fraser Valley. Over that time, I've watched the same price mistake repeat itself over and over again in every type of market cycle. There are a few things worth keeping in mind as we talk about pricing. The first days on market carry more weight than most people expect. Testing the market often feels cautious, but it usually works against you. Price reductions, they don't reset perceptions. And how a home enters the market shapes who you could end up negotiating with. That's the context. Let's get into it a bit deeper. When a home first comes to market, buyer tension is at its highest. This is when serious buyers are watching closely. They have their alerts set up, they know the neighborhood, they know the recent sales. This is not casual interest, this is intent. That window is short. Over the past 10 months, we've seen steady price declines. Across the Fraser Valley, it's been roughly 7%. This has not been a sharp drop. It has been a very slow, consistent slide. In markets like this, you cannot chase buyers. You have to catch them. When a home launches overpriced, educated buyers recognize this immediately. They compare it to recent sales, current listings, and whatever else they can buy in that same price range. Most of them move on right away. They don't wait for price adjustments. That reaction usually traces back to a conversation that happens before the listing ever goes live. It's that moment sitting at the table with a realtor when someone says, "Let's just try it at this price. We can always reduce it later." At that time, it sounds cautious. It feels flexible. It feels safe. In practice, though, it locks in the outcome. Some buyers, they'll still come through the home. These showings often give sellers a false sense of confidence that something is happening. Showings feel like momentum. They're not the same thing, though, as leverage. That earlier conversation, the one between seller and the realtor, before the home ever goes live, usually reflects one of two things. Either the pricing strategy was not fully settled, and it was a compromise, or there was hope that a buyer might overpay. Unicorn buyers, they do exist. I've seen them over the years. They tend to appear in very tight seller markets, usually for homes with strong emotional or subjective appeal. They're not something to plan around. In a balanced or buyer-leaning market, I often explain pricing in a declining market this way. Trying to chase the market down is like trying to chase a slinky as it moves down a set of stairs. You can stay above it, but you'll never catch it. You just keep on reacting. If you position yourself slightly below that slinky, it will come to you. The market works the same way. This is what strong pricing does. It meets buyers where they're going, not where they were months ago. That early testing period wastes the most valuable time a listing will ever have. By the time a price reduction happens, the most motivated buyers, they've already moved on. Others have mentally discounted the property. What remains is a more cautious buyer pool, and perception has already set in. Price reductions, they don't reset perception, they confirm it. At that point, the market becomes the decision maker. By the time the message is clear, the leverage, it's already gone. This does not mean that every home should be aggressively priced. It does mean pricing needs to be intentional. Strong pricing conversations happen before the listing ever goes live. They require judgment. They require clarity. They require the ability to explain risk without pressure. That skill is not about spreadsheets, it's about experience under real conditions. The most important pricing decision is rarely the reduction, It is how a home enters the Langley real estate market in the first place. If selling is on your horizon this year, then it's worth thinking this very clearly. In a market that has been drifting lower, the goal is not to chase the market, but to position yourself so that buyers come to you. That preparation makes every step after launch easier to manage. One last thing I want to be very, very clear about. Sellers can still be very successful in this marketplace. Homes are still selling. Good outcomes are still happening. What's changed is not the possibility of success, it's what success requires. Preparation, realistic positioning, making the hard decisions early and not chasing them later. When pricing is intentional, buyers respond. That puts the seller back in control. Every market has noise. My goal with these videos is to help cut through it. If you want to talk through your situation, call me or click that link in the comments and book a time that's convenient for you. No rush, no pressure. And if this helped clarify your thinking, drop a comment below. I'd be interested to hear how you're approaching things in this marketplace. Subscribe if you want to stay connected. I'll be sharing more as the market unfolds and highlighting local community events along the way. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to watch and stay and keep informed. Thanks for dropping by. Have a great day, and let's get together soon.